Hello everyone, welcome to UKPM Survival and Outdoors here on YouTube, and in this latest UKPrepperman video I will be talking about a prepper's toolkit. Stay tuned. So here we are, and yes, in this video I will be talking about a prepper's toolkit. Now, in a lot of videos and in some of my videos I've mentioned about bug out bags and get home bags and that side of things, and I focus very much on the 5 C's, things like purifying water, things like being able to start fires, so on and so forth. But I think it's fair to appreciate that in a survival situation, particularly in an urban situation, the ability to make a permanent or semi-permanent location or fixture or shelter would require at least some tools. And if we just come away from bushcraft for a bit, then the reality would be that it's very difficult to fashion certain tools out of natural materials. And so in this video I'm going to be showing you what I have as a prepper's toolkit. Now, a couple of examples of how this could be used would be to keep it within your bug out location, or en route to your bug out location, or maybe off site in a storage unit, maybe on your property, maybe in your vehicle. And those are just a few examples. Closer to home, having a prepper's toolkit, assuming that you're not having to bug out, then having the necessary tools readily available quickly means that if there was the need urgently, then I would be able to have tools in one place rather than having to go through garages, sheds, outbuildings and various tool chests, toolboxes, and it's obviously quicker. So that's the reason for why. Now, just a couple of things to point out. This is very dependent on individual requirements, and the tools I have here may not be things that you would use, it may not be things that you would want to use, and there are going to be some gaps in here as well. It is limited only by the size of the storage container or bag or box or case or anything like that, and imagination. So I'm going to spin the camera around and I'm going to show you what I have in this little tool bag. Okay, so the tool bag itself, pretty small and easy to carry. It's made by that company here, home goods company here in the UK, Wilko. Had it for a while. It's gradually been upgraded, as a lot of things are, and I've retained it, and it's quite handy for this, just the right size, not too big, not too small. Got the carry handles on there, got a strap that you can put over your shoulder or hang the thing up if you want to. So just to crack straight on with, first thing, sturdy pair of gloves. These are waterproof gloves, and certainly for protecting hands is essential from things like splinters and anything you might be using or coming into contact with. That's the brand there. So I've got a few pairs of these, and one pair goes in there. Trusty WD-40, so many uses for this. You can actually use this as an accelerant for fires if you want to, though it's not advised, it will go up, but you can use it for all those things on there and more. One good thing, keep hold of the straw. These are lost, and when this is empty I'll be keeping hold of the straw. I've got a box full of these because I guarantee you can always lose that when you need it. So WD-40, a couple of different tapes, got some regular gaffer tape or duct tape, and then this is made by that company there, 3M, and it is waterproof exterior repair tape. Really handy, especially if you're trying to fix anything such as a broken window or anything like that. It needs a waterproof. Very good. Trusty hammer, one of many. This one's just a standard, pretty much 16 ounce standard claw hammer. Knock nails in, take nails out. Always good to have. A couple of ratcheting screwdrivers, Phillips, and a flathead. Let's say that's a bit squeaky. Might need to look at that. That's a bit better. As I say, these are great for putting screws in. Here in the UK we tend to use the Phillips more. There's still use for the flathead as well. You can guarantee that ratchet screwdrivers eventually will break. So I've got a couple of standard screwdrivers as well. So I've got again Phillips flathead. And for electrical use, if you're coming into contact with anything, you need to use special screwdrivers which are VDE, which are like these. These are only sort of cheap ones, but they are still fit for the purpose. And as I say, they're insulated as well. So again, Phillips and a flathead. Where would we be without some combination pliers? It's got the pliers, the wire cutters on there. Pretty cheap, a bit mashed up actually. I've had these for quite a few years. Might look at replacing those. And then just some Needlenose pliers as well. These aren't insulated, but they're very handy, especially if you're knocking a nail in. The old hack is to hold the nail, hammer it in, save you bashing your fingers. File, all sorts of uses. Chisel. This one's had a bit of a dink on it. This was a car boot sale bargain. 20p, not bad for that. Used to do a lot of that, going down to car boot sales and getting tools and doing them up and things like that. Good little hobby. Water pump pliers. Again, not the most expensive in the world, but certainly good to turn off any sort of water or anything like that. Plumbing work. Auto wrench. Mentioning about doing tools up, yeah, I used to go to the car boot sales and online auctions and buy a lot of old tools. This one is very old because it says made in England on it, as you can probably see there, and it's what's called an auto wrench. So it just has a thumb wheel there. But they're very, very handy for all sorts of things. That just unscrews at the bottom there. It's in pretty good condition. This is probably one of the old ones that I did up ages ago. No maker's label on that, but made in England. Obviously I have to compromise a little bit on size, so I've got a folding saw. This one came from a very well known German supermarket here in the UK, surprise surprise, it's made in Germany. It's a standard pull cut. It's not too bad actually. It's handy to have. It'll just go through wood, plastic, anything like that. Oh, that's the brand there, Parkside. £3 I think these were at the time. Cool, and some more duct tape there. Just coming to the outside of the bag. Old tape measure, the Brute, look at that. I think that's American. 15 metre, 25 foot tape measure. Oh yes, there we go. We can't quite see on there. US patent. So of course that's in inches and metric, used here in the UK. Mole grips, another classic one. I remember buying these, bought these ages ago at a car boot sale. No I didn't, tell a lie, I bought them online. Made in Birmingham, England. I think I bought these ones which were a 7-inch, and I bought a 9-inch pair as well. And these were in really, really good condition. Jaws absolutely fine on them. I say these are quite good. These are locking, sometimes known as locking pliers. We know them as mole grips. And these ones were actually made by Mole in Birmingham, UK. So I think I've got the 9-inch somewhere in the main toolkit. It's handy to have because it just means you can lock onto a nut and it won't spin and chew the nut up. So handy things to have. Oh, who remembers that brand in the UK? That's how awesome this kit is. They were a DIY chain in the UK that closed. I think they closed, didn't they? It's a medium adjustable spanner. I think this is an 8-inch. Yeah. So I've got a couple of ones here. You generally find you need two for some weird reason. That runs really smooth, that does. It's not bad, is it? And true test of how well these are lasting is that they close all the way up. Where's that one made? Diamond, China. Got 2 adjustable spanners. Cold chisel for masonry. Front of the bag. It's always good to have a little small screwdriver as well. This one's a Richmond one. Precision screwdriver. Hey, I swear by these. Stanley's. Got a box full of these. This one's a 99E. The locking blade. You need to be careful with these. You want to be not too mean, but you can actually resharpen those if you want, rather than just chucking the blade away. Spare blade in there as well. Regular pencil and carpenter's pencil for marking, because pens are all good, but pens won't write on everything, even the write anywhere pens. And handy thing to have, just sharpen it up. Super glue, all purpose. Needs a couple of hex keys in varying sizes. So this is probably not the best in the world because these will have a tendency to bend, but it is what it is. It does the job in an emergency. I've got all different sizes there. And I've also got, and I think this was a stocking filler a few Christmases ago, this thing made by Work Zone. It's basically some Phillips and flatheads as well on here, and then that one means that you can put on the sockets. So you've got an 8, 9, 10 and a 6. Not sure what those order. So you just take those off. You've got a little socket set there. I do keep a socket set in the vehicle, and I've got other socket sets as well. But it's just as a get out of jam kit. That's quite a handy thing to have. So that just goes back on there like that somehow. Yeah. And then lastly, as we're talking about home use, anybody who's ever put any flat pack furniture together, that sort of cheap stuff, use one of these. Always save the key, because these are very, very useful. As I say, guarantee when you're putting something flat pack that you'll lose this, can't find it, so I've got a box full of these as well. So there we have it. So that is now empty. Bit of oil on there as well. What I do is long term with these is I, especially with things like the saw, which I think is carbon steel, just put a bit of grease on before it's stored away. WD-40 will work, or light oil, just stops things from rusting. But that, where's it gone? That is, just thinking back while we've been filming, I bought this several years ago and I just did it up. I think I soaked it in vinegar, if I remember rightly, wire wheeled it, stripped it down. It's come up quite nice. It's obviously been hammered there a little bit, and you never know, it might be a little project. I might have a look and see what else I've got in the shed as well. So there we have it, that is my Prepper's Toolkit. Just a few tools to help out with any repairs I need to carry out, and it's really a grab bag, so to speak. I have a full toolkit, several toolkits. I've probably too many tools, but it's nice to have some things ready available that in a situation I can just grab, and I've got the basics there to get me by, rather than routing through garages, sheds and vehicles. I suppose also the flip side would be that if I had to bug out and I needed to create a semi-permanent or permanent structure or retreat, then having those tools there is quicker than trying to fashion them out of natural materials. So there's another side to it as well. But just thinking back, that auto wrench, I remember buying that some years ago. It was either on a car boot sale or maybe I bought it online. And I did it up, and I can't remember what it was. It was either a Garrington or a Brytall. I know it was made in England, so I think it said that on there as well. And it was a little hobby of mine. I used to buy the tools and do them up, and it was nice, quite nice to do. Sometimes you could sell, I guess you could sell them if you wanted to, or keep them. Probably got too many to keep, but that's another story. But maybe I'll start doing that. Maybe I'll start looking at some of the ones I've got in here, and maybe take you on that little journey. It's a little hobby, a little side thing to this, because I guess it is prepping, looking after tools and things like that. And in the current situation, it's nice to have an additional hobby and interest to do. So I might do some videos on that, you never know. But anyway, that's where I say thank you very much for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please, if you have, then please like, share and subscribe at the bottom. Right way around this time. Who spotted that, I wonder? Of course, any comments, love to hear them. And until next time, thanks very much for watching, and bye for now.